What's up, everybody? It's Tuesday night. Thank you so much for being with us. I'm Ken Meringolo. He's Tim Strachan.
What's up, everybody? Look, we got to be there when it's great. We got to be there together when it's not so great.
That's right.
And you know, my day started off rough. It got better, and I couldn't. You know, I couldn't have. I had to be here with you guys. So
We got it.
looking forward to it. My voice is scratchy just because.
And also, you didn't tell me that we're a little bit
allergies.
off center.
I know that's all right. That's all right. Nobody sees.
A tad bit askew.
Kevin Ricca,
Nobody needs to see the whole me.
Agent K tonight.
Yes,
to my left.
I can neither confirm nor deny where I was all afternoon.
I will be your three-ring circus conductor today with these two guys coming in hot from a great day.
In all fairness, Kevin and I were at a funeral today for
Shout out
our boy
Maddie
Maurice. His mom, and shout out to the family and everybody.
absolutely.
And it was
The lovely Kathy Morris, Miss Shannon, Matt, and Pat. What an amazing crew.
love you
right.
guys. Love you guys.
Absolutely. Love you guys.
Greg Martin, Robert Cohen, EO, Manner of
Heck yeah.
Speaking, Rents,
Heck yes.
AGH, I'm sure will be around.
Love
We'll
you
get to the
guys.
other
Oh, we
guys
talked
through.
about AGH today.
Wales got shouted out all
Wales.
up, down,
By
left,
the way,
and right.
no, AGH, I haven't seen him comment yet, but did you know the Welsh flag has a dragon on it? I was looking at
badass.
flags, and it came through. What's that?
Badass.
It's a great flag. I mean, I love
It is
flag.
a
I love, like,
badass
as
flag.
Maryland folk, we love our Maryland flag. As the United States,
We know
it's
a
a great
flag when we see a
We
flag.
love flags,
We love our flag.
but a flag with a dragon on it, that's pretty cool. So shout out to
I
the
agree.
Welsh.
Takes one to know one.
Yeah,
And
that's
the Maryland
right.
State flag, Lord Calvert,
love-
Lord Baltimore, well done back 1,000 years ago. But yes, that dragon, that's pimp.
A dragon flag for your country is pretty badass. All right. We are joining mid-season after a loss. Here's what we're going to do real fast. We're just going to get this over with because we do it, and we're not going to not do it, and we're not going to shy away from it. This was the game. We lost 28-27 to Pittsburgh Steelers. Trailed in a variety of ways. You know what? Once again, I go right to the bottom of the screen. Things we did well at the beginning of the season, time of possession. Things we're not doing so hot on right now, time of possession. There's a lot that goes into that. The turnovers finally bit us a little bit. Costly turnovers. But all in all, 140 to 60 rushing. I mean, that is. Neither team was spectacular on third down. We didn't convert our first fourth down. So all that added up to a 1-point loss. Is there anything you guys want to talk about on this right now? I mean, red zone was good. But other than that,
I thought we competed. You know, it was eerily reminiscent of the Baltimore game to
But
me.
we didn't.
We showed that we're there, that we're not ready to finish
Yes.
a bit. That's okay.
There was a lot of
Okay.
flaws. There was a lot of drops. There was a lot of uncharacteristic things we had.
A lot of drops is true.
A lot of drops.
So many
was-
drops.
it was
Like
so
everyone's
difficult,
dropping
man.
shit. Yes,
got
sir.
a lot of drops.
So difficult.
There was some drops.
It just things weren't working for us. Things aren't really working in our favor right now. It's a long season, and we're hitting a grind, man.
Yeah, and that's okay.
I had the good fortune of having a friend fly in with 2 tickets in his hand to this game. And I got the chance, and I sat in a great seat again. I had nothing to do with it. I ended up right on the 50-yard line in the club level. Shout out to Travis. Hope you're hanging out with us tonight. But it's the best seat in the house, I think. And on anyone else's dime, it's always exactly where you want to sit. 301 or
I heard
322.
you went for a steak dinner afterwards.
50-yard
and
line.
everything too.
Not quite steak dinner anywhere else. We did have
Very
Uncle
close.
Julio's at the lounge,
That
but still, which is
is
awesome.
still awesome.
It's still awesome. But let me just tell you, from my vantage point, the one thing that I thought was blazingly obvious was for the first time. I shouldn't say for the first time. Jaden Daniels was this much off a couple times. The first offensive drive we had, Zacchaeus ran a little bit of an out, kind of extended it up a little. He was open, and Jaden Daniels has hit him all season long. Has been hitting those throws all season long. Jaden Daniels wasn't bad. He was 50%, but he played against a great defense. But that was the difference in his throws. We watched him throw it to like this part of the rib on a receiver because that's the only part that was open. You know, we've seen him throw it here. We've seen him throw it here. Everywhere. The touchdowns. I mean, it's outrageous how accurate he's been this season. On Sunday, he was just this much less accurate, and that shows against a team like Pittsburgh.
That much less. It was really the drops, though. Diami, I mean, come on, dude. Come on, dude.
Still scored on that drive, but you can't miss that touchdown.
I get it. And I felt the same way. Come on, dude. But it was also the hit to the rib that caused a little bit of the dysfunction of the perfect passing
placement.
Yeah.
It's like alien level good.
It wasn't, and it has been. It wasn't just the passing. Like he did not get out. I know that 3-4 defense with them speedy outside backers, designated in conference to deal with Lamar, deal with Joe Burrow, deal with Deshaun Watson. Before we didn't know that he wasn't so wheelie.
How could one Chandler be so Levy? I remember that too.
And just saying, that was part of it. That defense is constructed to deal with a Jaden.
Yeah,
that's it. I mean,
they are constructed to deal with Jaden.
A Jaden that took one to the ribs, a Jaden that wasn't his complete perfect self.
And you don't want Patrick Queen tackling you multiple times in any game.
I want him in burgundy and gold. That's all.
We wanted him in the offseason. We talked about it,
and he's so good.
He was our number one. Number one athlete. Number 6 flew everywhere.
We said it. We know
we
it.
wanted him. He got to pick where he went. He went to a defense that's very well constructed, full of talent, and Queen knew it. They play with T.J. Watt, for example, play with Mike Tomlin. There's a lot of guys. There's a lot of dudes on that team. By the way, also like like when you say they're built to play the Ravens, it's fair and it's cool. Every single one of them tackles.
Yeah.
There's nobody that shirks physicality. It's 11 guys, and in many ways, it's who we want to be. It's how we're constructing our mentality and our roster. But watching what Pittsburgh does, there's not a single business decision made on that field. Everyone sells out, and that's what we are starting to see that from our guys this season. And we were 1 point short of taking it to Pittsburgh.
I agree.
Yeah,
it was so cool. We didn't think we'd be at this level for a long time, boys. We're right
but
there.
But even at this level, it was kind of a shitty game. I mean, it was sloppy. Look at those.
So I disagree. I disagree.
Look at those stats again.
All right, let's put them on.
Oh, it was sloppy. It was definitely sloppy.
Neither team did well.
But it was.
But if you love defense, it's not sloppy, and you love this game.
Correct.
And that's a lot of points to be scored on two very good defenses.
Shithouse rats.
Yeah,
you're right.
28-20.
I was shocked. Sorry.
I was. We were.
It's okay.
And the scores that beat us. So and again, I had a great shot of the George Pickens touchdown catch. It was just to my right. That's otherworldly.
It was awesome.
The float in to Mike Williams happened on the other side of the field, but also on my end, beauteous. If that's what's going to beat you, fair enough.
That's well said.
Yeah, and I'll say I was telling Travis. So the Pittsburgh tries that fake punt, and that poor kid misses a wide open ball, and Danny Smith chews through another 10 teeth. And I'm telling my buddy, I'm like, hey, listen, just so you know, like that's what we did. We necessarily didn't
with Danny Smith.
It wasn't even missed fake punts. No, I'm just saying we did the dumb thing. They gave the other team the ball in the red zone. We did all the time. If you're a good team, you win 100% of the games where the other team does that.
Yeah.
And because the best teams in the league, they never lose that game. Now, obviously, we had 2 muffs, one of which we lost, one of which we got.
Didn't go our way. Muffs usually go our way.
Yeah, we were 1 for 1.
Not double
one
muffs.
and one.
Double muffs go against us, apparently.
Double muff.
Shout out Greg
We can't
Martin.
handle double muff.
I'm quoting Greg Martin's
crazy.
the first comment I saw tonight. It was, he said it was a double
I think you're right,
muff.
Double muff, double muffed stuffed. And they both hit his helmet. It was weird. I don't know. There's no way to explain it. But again, you can't
I would
win.
Like to see somebody else.
It's been explained. Their punter has 1 more second of hang time than anyone else's. He believes in this weird new hang time. I think he's from a foreign planet, but it's true.
Yeah.
Tress Way says he's got a second of hang time more than I do. Tress Way's at 4.5, 4.6 at all times. This guy's at 5.4, 5.5.
Whoa.
Yeah.
They say into the wind with the way he kicks it and all this
play.
stuff. But I'm like,
yards.
all that sounds great, and I'm mesmerized by it, and I'll listen. But you don't catch with your face mask, dog.
Yeah, you gotta make that catch.
I'm a big OZ fan, so we all.
Yeah, and you know what? To his credit, to the team's credit, he came off the field. He came right at me, and he settled right down in front of me. I mean, everyone had him. He was fine. He was confident. He was ready to go back in. He remained a part of the offense. It wasn't a situation where he's been one of the better punt returners.
It wasn't on him, and it wasn't just on Diami. It was a collection of a lot of mistakes we haven't seen.
Mistakes we haven't seen
because we're due.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
It's
and
going to
again,
get rougher. I
and
think
if that was a 1 point
the
difference,
biggest worry
pretty
is our
good.
depth.
Agreed.
Our biggest worry right now is our
Has
depth.
been. We've known that since day one.
All right, let's talk about who did suit up on Sunday and who didn't. Let's start with who didn't. Obviously, Marshawn Lattimore. I'm sitting in my seat. I'm like, oh, buddy, we just traded for Marshawn Lattimore. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? And I'm like, wait, where is he? Now, I don't know why I just assumed he was going to automatically play. We all knew he was.
I thought it was
a little
Devontae
dinged up.
Adams. I'm a dick.
I was like, and Mike Williams, by the way, who was traded for like on the same day, he was out there. We all know what he did. So Lattimore is, still dinged. Wiley was suited up, number 71, on the bench, had a hat on. He was going to play in an emergency. That emergency didn't happen. Tyler Biotish, the dude's hobbled, is what I heard.
Yeah.
I mean, he's basically he's the toughest dude out there, and
He went in there. He went in
he's
there
hurt.
and tried to tough it out, and I think I just think it hurt him a couple times.
Sure. Yeah,
But
and
God bless that guy for
he
trying.
tried.
Yeah.
I memean, he's looking at Trent Scott out on the right and a rookie left tackle out on the left. And even though you got Allegretti and Cosme playing well, he feels obligated to put it on the line because he's got the moneymaker behind him. And again, and Jaden Daniels not scooting. He's plenty mobile, but he's not. He didn't do today what he's done. He didn't do on Sunday what he's done.
He is not himself.
Yeah, he's hurt too.
And he is out there with that rib, and I know he took a few more, and he's trying, but like there's a few throws that we all saw that he hasn't missed all year. And it's time. It's due. You can, but he did. That's it.
Yep.
You're not going to be perfect. You're not. And by the way, you see all these second-year guys. C.J. Stroud struggling. All these. Jaden Daniels is going to have his struggle times, but we didn't think it would be this week.
And even though he struggled, he still played well enough for us to win.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
No.
Like that's the cool thing about it.
Agreed. He's a rookie QB. That's it.
I think the story for us this game was our defense. I was sitting next to again my buddies from Texas.
Specifically our run defense, maybe.
Well, no, and they should have run. It's like they should have run every single play. And there were downs when I looked in there. It was like 3rd and 8, and they brought off Mathis, Payne, and Newton. And I turned to my buddy. I'm like, they need to audible to a run, like right this very second. We can stop the run with those guys in the game, and we just took them all out. I'd be running all day, and on 3rd and 8 even. Our pass defense stood up. We made Russ make some plays, and he did. And
He
Russ
made two in the red zone,
Yes.
perfect throws to guys that have the ability to go make them perfect catches.
And
that's all. Because
yeah.
it was the catch, but it was the guy that put it there. Those 2 catches were freakish.
They were
I'm sorry.
freakish.
Better
Freakish.
offense than defense. That's it.
And
what are you going to do?
And we caused turnovers in crazy clutch spots. Jeremy Chin had a great game again. I think this guy might be somebody you extend before the season ends, ultimately, because he's playing that well, I think.
Somebody's going to want him.
Oh, I do not want to bid against people for him, although we have more money than anyone. I mean, obviously, we kind of feel like we can have anyone we want. Yes.
He belongs to us.
I
believe.
We're not losing a guy like him. And again, the cool thing about this team is if he's going to get his money anywhere, why wouldn't he want to stay here? Because people want to be here officially now, which is great. Wagner had a decent game. I thought Johnny Newton played well. I understand the mistake he made. I understand it was costly. But you know what? He's a really, really good player. And the cool thing about the story, so the cool thing about him committing, the cool thing about the penalty is he was reading the center all day, and he was reading the center well. The center, he said, had a tell, and he was jumping it, and he was doing it all day long. He said, I know now. I got to mature. He's like, that's not the spot to be cute and read a center. And that's a big lesson to learn.
It is.
It's a hard one for everyone to learn around him, but it wasn't like he jumped off sides because he was playing a poker game, and he lost. And that was a bad loss for our defense. I thought he played well. I thought we saw Farrell out there getting some plays. We saw. I thought Fowler looked okay. All these guys played well.
Fowler's been ridiculous.
Yes,
He has been.
He has 6 sacks.
It's unbelievable.
7 sacks.
6.5.
Jesus.
Yeah,
I think. But you're right. And also the reaction from the teammates to Johnny Newton.
Oh, yeah.
With tears in his eyes as he
Juan Martin's like, hey, can we just not do this today?
And this year's still about that, guys. This year's still about the growth and all of that, and the fact that he could look to his teammates and say, and he said it to each man. He said, not only that, the coaching staff, everyone came to me and said, he goes, that's why this place is a brotherhood. Like, we're still building culture. We are. I know we're you fast forward and expedite all this stuff with what's happened so far, but moments like that, we all know that's the stuff that makes a franchise. Especially a new one with a new guy with a new outlook like we have right now. I love the reaction to that because that's not why we lost. That was just the last play we remember.
The collection of everything.
The cool thing about the feeling of that sucks about losing that game.
Well,
the sting
one thing
is that
I want to talk about that.
Is that we start to expect to win. We have changed our expectations about this team. We are rebuilding.
8.5 top heavy. Sorry to interrupt. 8.5.
Fowler has 8.5.
I thought it was at least one per game.
That's sick.
When you feel like you can win and you don't win. That is a different feeling than we've had for a long time. So
agreed, sir.
That's the cool part about this. If you want to find the silver lining, there's not a good loss. There's no moral victories. Blah blah blah. But our view of, we're 7-2 now, 7-3. Forget about the fact that if anyone was saying, "Hey, we'll give you 7-3," if they told us that in August, we would, of course, have taken that all day long.
Everything's gravy from here on out.
So
we can get.
But
Are you kidding me?
But here's one thing. The first thing I wrote. The one thing about this team, and I hate to set it up this way, but we've had back-to-back wins. We haven't had back-to-back losses. We lost to Tampa Bay at the beginning of the season. We lost to Ravens in the middle of that beginning of the middle of the season, and then we just took a loss now. So short week, walking wounded, haven't lost back-to-back games yet this season.
Wait, before we move on from the game,
go ahead, whatever you want.
Well, I'm sorry. Are you moving on from the game?
I'm not moving anywhere.
I'm also not moving.
I'm going to stay right here.
Well, there was one. If you're moving on from the game, there's one more thing.
I wouldn't think of it. No, I don't want any more.
You're moving on.
Continue.
No.
Continue.
Wait.
Sorry.
All right, I was moving on from the game. No, go ahead.
I knew it. You did too.
But I was not moving on. I was moving. I was like wiggling. I was moving around.
Area of discussion.
All right.
The last call was effing atrocious.
The referee's call?
Yes.
I have no comment on the referees.
Atrocious.
I will tell you. Okay.
He caught it behind the line.
Wait.
It was effing atrocious.
You think we got the first down?
Yes.
I did not think we got. Okay, so here's exactly what happened.
And it certainly wasn't where they got the ball. It wasn't a yard. It was unbelievable.
Here's what I'll say, and this is just
it's a
again.
Meme. It's a total meme.
I get one vote. And my vote can easily be outweighed by 70 however many million votes. Here's what I'll say about this play. My seat was right there, right there. I didn't think he got it in real time with my eyes. Now that was and as soon as
your eyes suck.
My eyes suck. As soon as it happened, I went to track. So there's like 30 seconds left. They threw the ball. Zach Ertz. He catches it with his knee on the ground. Bad idea.
Get off the ground, dude.
Bad idea.
Catch the ball with your feet.
I'm like,
feet on the ground.
He's short.
Stop falling down.
Let's go. He's short. Sir. Let's go. I jump out of my chair. Travis thinks like there's a fire. I'm like, he's like, what's going on? We're like, I'm like, we gotta get the F out of here. He's short. We need to beat 70,000 people out of the stadium so we can get over tonight to Columbus in time to have a fun afternoon.
Priorities.
So we ran out there and I was like, let him. We heard it. We could hear it on the radio. We could hear the previous plays on the review. I'm like. Take your time. As I'm walking by like 60,000 cars that I'm trying to get ahead of. I'm like, there's no way. Now, I honestly can tell you, I did not think he got it in real time with my eyes. I've not watched the play one single time since. Not one single time since. Nor will I ever. Because I don't want to be the guy who gets like hung up on shit like that. I think this loss hurts because we lost because we don't like losing, and that's a cool thing. We don't see ourselves as losers. We don't want to get used to losing. Losing is not something that we're about anymore. And so I won't watch that play.
F you, I was pissed.
I want you to be that guy. I want you to be that. I want you to be there.
I was pissed.
I'm going to stay away from it.
All right.
But I
couldn't care less.
When the play happened, I couldn't see so good. They mushed my face.
Mm-hmm.
Final answer.
Face mushed.
Sorry.
The old face mush.
All right, continue with your first line there.
we haven't lost back-to-back games yet, which is part of what you just said. Like this whole idea that we're not losers. We don't lose. Like losing isn't. We win. We've won over twice as many times as we've lost. We're a winning team, not a losing team. And here we are with another opportunity to right the wrongs and get that W. And then to be a big one on the road, NFC East, Thursday night. I don't know who's playing.
I mean, we
got all kinds of guys who aren't playing. So let's start there. Let's set up the fact that we're going to be trotting out some warm ass bodies that we might not know who they are because Biadish, I don't know. Who knows if he's playing or not? But he's
Adam Peters, what's your body count? Because we're going to have to tally it up. Because it's not looking great, guys.
Wiley is on the edge. Hopefully, I think they were basically saving him for Thursday. They said he could have played Sunday. If you're a right tackle, the guy has almost misses 0 plays. My thing is he couldn't have played.
And I don't think he's playing Thursday.
I don't think he's playing Thursday. You got
B-Rob, man.
You got Cornelius is limited.
Cornelius is limited is a positive.
100%.
Because he came from like not playing to possibly limited. Everyone else is limited is a negative, which tells me Cornelius, that's also a negative.
Yeah. Brian Robinson, limited again. I don't think he was a full participant in today's practice. So
who was a full participant in today's practice? I mean, it seems that.
I'll be honest with you. I know this is a veteran head coach and veteran guys. They're not going to. I promise. I'm sure they weren't doing Oklahoma's today. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure it was. They were getting. I'm sure they were.
No monkey rolls.
No
pregame warm-ups.
I'm pretty sure they were like, hey, we got a game in 2 days, and we just finished. We just had a game in 2 days. So, but the mini buy, as they call it, the kids call it, it does factor in if your guy is this where he is, if he could play, if you needed him, but you don't want him to.
10 days off.
Yeah. So that's and you don't want to sit a guy for a game this big, but our bye week doesn't come to week 14.
I know.
That's forever away from
last bye week in NFL. Like, come on, guys. Like that's some old school stuff from the old regime.
Yep.
You don't get the last possible chance. That's the last possible week, right? Well, someone's got to get it. We'll give it to Burgundy and goal.
And keep in mind, there's no load management for the most part in the NFL. I mean, there's 17 games. There's 17 games. There's a couple of older guys maybe that you might have take a little bit of a white glove with.
Practice week wise.
There's certainly practice week wise.
No, of course. No, that's where it exists.
Yeah.
Load management, you're talking game time, NBA.
There's no
comparison.
If guys can go, they're going.
Exactly.
They're going.
They're in, you're out in this league.
So I don't expect us to. I don't think what we're here telling you guys is like men like Biadish and Wiley and Lattimore and those guys. They're not taking the week off so they can play in 10 days. They're not playing because they can't play.
We need Biadish so bad,
dude. At the game,
that's such a big loss.
Yeah.
That's such a bad loss.
Just like, as we talk about this, it makes me think, like, so whenever I go to the stadium, I'm always amazed. Always amazed. Now, when I've been on the field, when we were there with Griff, and you've been on the field a million times, I mean, these guys are gigantic, right? I mean, just gigantic. Case in point, Cordero Patterson, number 84.
He's gotten huge.
Well,
dude, by the way,
if you want to talk about big, that's a different cat.
That's a different cat. Oh yeah, but the
he
thing
was never always that.
Yes,
big.
he was. He was, dude. He's 6'3", like 240.
When he was,
and he plays running back.
Was running like when he was a rookie.
He was drafted as a wide receiver.
Minnesota.
He was drafted as a wide receiver.
He was skinny.
Well,
dude, he is a tree now.
When I stood next to him. And now he was wearing cleats, pads, and a helmet, and he looked like he was 6'9".
What were you wearing? High heel. One high heel, a thong,
Lululemon shorts,
and some
obviously.
OP corduroys. All
Crocs.
right, done. Go ahead. Cordero Patterson got handed the ball. He's always been a toy everywhere. He's a freak of nature.
He's a guy he's a perfect example of a player that every team in the world should want to have on their squad. When he puts the ball in his hands and runs forward, I'm thinking to myself, who in their right mind is going to want to run in front of this guy and try to bring him down?
Get low.
It is. It's violent. There was, thank God you can get defensive tackles and linebackers to get their hands on him before he gets to the secondary. Because when he lines up at running back, which he did a couple times, he was this far from being able to run over, some dudes. It's such a violent game. And when you think about how tough Tyler Biotish is, how tough, guys, I'm sure like Wiley are, man, the beating you take on that field. Whenever you're there, obviously you see it on TV. They got the microphones pointed at the field. You can hear the hits of the pads. But anytime, and I forget about it because I was there every week for so long. You guys have been around football your whole lives. I don't know how you forget, but when you see it in person, even at the high school level, it's so violent. And these are grown ass men, just selling out their bodies.
The biggest, the fastest.
It's
strongest.
It's straight up gladiators. I mean, it's straight up gladiators.
The most well trained.
Yes. It really is. I think we've gotten to a point where people aren't even paying attention sometimes. It's the points, it's the offense, it's the beautiful ball in the air flying, and it's the money and the sponsors.
You pay attention to the beautiful ball in the air flying.
You always pay attention.
But you don't pay attention to the 5 dudes that have to grip up the other 4 dudes and the other 6 dudes
who are getting shellacked every single play. They're like, okay, on this play, I'm going to put my hand on. Okay, when you say hike,
Ken.
When you say hike, I'm going to hit the guy in 4 inches from me as hard as I possibly can. 70 times.
I never thought I would say this, but fuck hike.
Fuck hike. Hike.
I've never said hike.
It is so.
Life. Me neither. Fuck you, hike.
Fuck you, hike.
It was like 90 huts and something. I would never like, say it, hike. I've been his center. He definitely never said hike.
No.
Cosign. I just co-signed that.
And he did a little tickly thing with his fingers.
He didn't.
Oh, he may have.
He did.
He may have.
No. He'd be the last guy that would have. I've been the first guy that would have accused him of it, though. And that's where shit gets
Although,
weird.
he got the fart on my hands, and then, I got in trouble. So I never understood that part.
Apparently.
Allegedly. These are allegations.
Moistly.
If you are going to fancy yourself a playoff contender, obviously you don't want to take in-conference losses. The AFC loss against the Steelers, there's just no good. I hate polishing this turd, but we're 7-3. That's awesome. You're
a classically trained turd polisher, to be fair.
We're crushing in the NFC.
I know.
We have plenty of wins there already.
And Atlanta lost in the NFC, which
Atlanta
gives
lost
them 2 deuces in the turd.
And the
market.
Rams lost last night, and that was an AFC loss. But still, they moved down in the tiebreaker.
And let
rankings.
Detroit go do Detroit.
Yep.
Let them do Detroit. They're doing great.
The NFC North. Let's talk about the NFC North for just 1 second, because it does matter to us. It does matter to us. That's a division. We're not worried about the NFC South. The division winner is going to make the playoffs, and everyone else is going to.
The West is very scary also. But proceed.
We already beat the crap out of Arizona, and I'm okay with our ability to match up against them.
Yeah.
In the North, you got the Vikings, the Packers, the Bears, and obviously Detroit. So that's the division that's going to, bum rush the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago, who we thought was going to be something. I mean, right now they're the turd in the punch bowl in the NFC North. Interestingly, and check me to make sure that I'm telling you this right, I don't think they've played a single NFC North game. I think they're one of the only teams in the league that hasn't played a division game yet.
I would never know that, but that's an amazing stat.
I think that's true. And so they can
still have a run at it and win and be a host.
I think they can have a run at it and help us.
Fair enough.
They're not going to have a run at it.
I think we become
record. I get it.
In this organization,
I get it.
we may find out it may be the worst run.
We may become Bears. I'm talking about Bears.
Especially
we're being Bears fans now.
The head coach.
I know, but I don't want to Eberflus all over myself because I'm not a big Eberflus guy like
it's
you.
safe to root for the Bears.
I'm not a fan, but
if the Bears have a chance,
they fire him
Eberflus.
Again.
They're going to fire Eberflus.
They've done this for 8 years straight. This is not good.
By the way, he's had Cliff Kingsbury.
Steelers haven't played a division game.
He's had Cliff Kingsbury in his locker room for 2 years.
Yep.
He's like, what's going on?
No.
Where's Cliff Kingsbury? Sorry, but I think that's fair to say. No,
I mean,
is it
with
fair
the
to
connection
say
to Caleb,
that Caleb Williams
he
would
may
say
be the next head coach? Oh.
No, they're going to come after. But listen, again.
No, I'm not saying it that way.
Cliff's not going to Chicago. I will bet that.
If he does, we might get a draft pick. How about an OC draft pick?
Second round.
Ken's head will explode at the same time something else explodes, and I hope it's closer to you than me, sir.
If
we go to Eberflus draft choice.
Hey, I'll tell you this right now. It's first round pick or nothing. If the Bears have to give and you know what? The Bears have first round picks to spare. They got all of Carolina's picks forever. And they can afford it if they want Cliff Kingsbury, come with a first round pick for starters.
Kingsbury's burgundy and gold for another 2.6 years.
Yeah, I
2.4 years.
I'm taking the over. I'll take the over. I think he's here for his contract.
Easy these days.
Also, it's an easy way to give him a raise. If let's say
it is.
If there's if we are as good as we think we can
he's a
be,
head coach,
and he's riding it. You know what? Here's the deal with that. I don't think that he cares about that necessarily.
I agree. I think you might be right
because you can pay him as much as he wants. There's still another promotion. He can be the associate head coach. He can be the assistant head coach. He can be all this other stuff.
You can only say this if you're under a coach named Dan.
Yes, that's right.
And both of those guys have autonomy.
Maybe
correct?
his time in Bangkok he's brought him down to earth.
No, it's a beautiful gig if your head coach is named Dan. You're in NFC.
Yes, and if this organization proves to be like the place to be. And you want to call plays and have a potential next level generational dude like Jaden. And this is the way you do it. Like at some point in time, you lose the desire. It doesn't have to be because of you. Like when you take over a terrible franchise and you get your 5-year, $40 million deal to be the next head coach of a 3-14 team or whoever you're getting, like. You already know, like the chances of you being the reason why they become a Super Bowl team are slim, but you're taking the money, you're being a head coach. Like I think a guy like Cliff Kingsbury at this point of his life, I think he'll be a head coach again, but guess where he could be a head coach again? Right here. If he stays around long enough, he could be the head coach right here. I mean, there's no reason why that's not at least a possibility, but really all that matters is in the modern era of billionaire owners and offensive coordinators making whatever you want to pay them. There's no salary cap for coaches. Be like Cliff. How about you just be OC here for another 4 years at $8 million a year or $9 million a year? Be like, okay.
And Ben Johnson has had to deal with this in recent years. He's like, you know what? I'll stay right here. That's fine.
Guess what? Genius move. Genius move, by the way. I have Goff. I have an offensive line. Penny Sewell. I have one of the best tackles in the game. I got Montgomery. I got Gibbs. I got Williams. I got St. Brown.
And if Kingsbury is a head coach.
K2's doing this.
Yes. Yeah.
He's doing this right here, right now.
Because we're going to get our Laporta. We're going to get our Jamison Williams speedster on the other side. We're going to get our, anchor offensive lineman out of one of these draft classes. And they're going to add a Jahmyr Gibbs to the. I believe that. I believe that they will. So I don't think he's going anywhere.
So there's a big ass receiver coming to town. Tell me there's a big ass, fast ass, Calvin Johnson ass, bitch.
So you're saying instead of taking all the responsibility of a head coach, just leave some Bangkok time. Stay OC and Bangkok.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Because as long as
live your best life, bro.
I see what you're putting down.
Sorry, Ben Johnson. Do it
if we suck,
style.
If we suck, if the team doesn't perform or whatever, and at some point, I mean, everyone gets fired. Everybody, no one keeps the coordinators. If you hire a new head coach, he gets to pick his dudes again. But no one's getting fired from the Washington Redskins Commanders roller coaster ride right now. Right now, we're just doing this. No one's getting fired from that ride.
Where do we have 5 former head coaches in this league?
Yeah.
As assistants?
Dude, no 10-0.
There's some humble going on here.
No 17-0 jobs are coming available.
Right.
Keanu Malloy told us that.
By the way, if you want to ask an opinion about what to do with a 2-15 job, just ask around. In time, and underneath the roof that we're in now.
Ask Cliff.
Anthony Lynn will tell you.
Ask Cliff.
We got
himself.
Everyone that you need to hear, man.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a background. What we now have is a lot of smart dudes underneath one roof. When we used to have 0, but one guy was autonomous. Now we have a group of smart people, and I'm not sure, but I think this is the better route.
It's run like a real company.
Exactly.
It's run like a company.
And
I was
coordinators
hoping
are
for
paid.
someone to corroborate me.
coordinators they're not hungry for that head coach money because they're getting head coach money right now.
If you're coordinating properly, you ain't worried about the money.
It's not about the money.
Ben Johnson's going to be just fine.
He's going to be okay.
Detroit does not want him to leave, so financially, of course,
he can choose to stay.
How about someone just makes this a cool gig?
But by the way, the comps between Dan Quinn and Dan Campbell, you were talking about the Dans.
I can't.
Those are two very similar CEO type head coaches, but they're not your typical. They're like the CEO comes to work in Umbros and a tank top and does whatever the hell he wants.
This guy smells weird. Sit right next to him and take notes.
He's just like, do your job. But the point of where I started out at there is with the Bears is they haven't played a division game yet. We need them to win some division games because we need that playoff picture. It's going to be us and the Eagles. I think we're determining in the NFC East at this point, and I think that's not being presumptuous.
Nope.
So from a playoff perspective, one or both of the Eagles and the Commanders will make the playoffs, and that will depend somewhat on the NFC North playing out over the next 8 or 9 weeks. And the Chicago Bears will have a heavy, heavy hand in that because they're playing all those other 3 teams twice. And as we know, because we're experiencing it right now, 2 things. Chicago does have talent, and at this point in time, so many guys are beat up. And when you put these teams on the field, Caleb Williams can have a game. He can all of a sudden connect with Rome and Keenan and DJ in a way that hasn't necessarily been happening yet. By the way, did you see the story that said that veteran Bears players were wanting Tyson Bagent to be the guy before they fired Shane Waldron, the offensive coordinator? Now, I don't know if that's true. I saw that reported. It's a terrible story. It's a terrible headline to have out there. But it doesn't matter because once you fire your offensive coordinator in week 10 after drafting a rookie quarterback and putting everything in place, everything's terrible there.
It sounds very Eberflus.
Yes, he had a grasp on it for a second, and he's no longer grasping it.
He let it go.
He let it go.
Did you instruct him to let it go?
No, I would never. You hold on to that.
Be patient, young Eberflus.
Eberflus. He grew the mustache and the goatee and everything. What else do you want the man to do? I mean, he's been the facial hair alone.
I never wanted him to do any of that stuff.
So I think that's a team to watch for Redskins fans because we beat the Bears and we want them to win games. So keep that in mind as we move forward, especially as they take on NFC North foes. And things are starting to tighten up out there. The Packers and the Vikings are very dinged as well. By the way, these are flawed teams. I think the only teams, correct, you guys bring in on this, every team has flaws, but you would look at the Chiefs and say the least flawed. For my money, Baltimore and Detroit are the next level of the least flawed, and then it's us and the Eagles and who
you have to say when you have Christian McCaffrey and Debo back healthy.
Yeah,
it's a troublesome scenario.
Dude, I don't like him going after the punter I don't like him going after the holder and the field goal kicker on the sidelines.
I'm not worried about all that. I'm thinking McCaffrey and Debo, or like what you want. Where do you want to eat dinner tonight?
Yeah,
where we at? Which coast?
By the way,
when they're both active,
when Jaden missed McCaffrey on that deep post.
I'm just saying, man.
Yeah.
San Fran has been, and I'm just saying.
Oh, so that was the second thing I had written down. You just walked me right into it. That's professional. And the guy's wearing a suit. Let's be honest. There's only one.
Here comes the man.
There's one professional sitting here tonight. It's probably the guy wearing a tie.
Oh, it's not me.
All right, so I thought this was a cool thing. I saw this today. Diamador Lenore. Is that a name anyone's familiar with?
What you talking about, Willis?
Yeah.
Diamador Lenore. He's a defensive back for the San Francisco 49ers. He's been bouncing. Stop me if you've heard this story before on our very own team. A young player who has exceeded expectations, bounced between playing outside cornerback and slot corner, where he has excelled in both positions.
So he can tackle.
He has over 50 tackles as a defensive back. He's got multiple interceptions. He's scored. He has he's been in the backfield disrupting things there. He ran the blocked field goal back for a touchdown this week.
So far, I'm digging this cat.
Diamador Lenore, the San Francisco 49ers, had never, ever cease to amaze me in their ability to lock up the best players in the league to long-term contracts. He signed a 5-year, $92 million deal today as a defensive back for the San Francisco 49ers. Now, this might not be a guy that jumps off the page. He is one of the better defenders in the entire NFL. And once again, they have found a way to put a otherworldly guy who's also having a great season. Now, he had a great year last year.
Is there more money in San Fran?
I don't know where they're getting all this money.
But
I looked at him and looked at his game.
They got like 6 dudes signed to maxes.
They just keep doing it. By the way, I thought we were gonna have a chance at Ayuk. Obviously, they got him too. They got everyone locked up.
Guess what? We got a guy that knows how to lock them all up.
We're gonna be locking some dudes up. But the reason why I bring him up is because Saint Risto, our guy, the rookie who can play outside and inside, and he's physical. He can tackle. It's just another example of, we always talk about the Jaden Daniels rookie contract impact. Is how good can we get before we have to pay him a ton? The same could be said for other players on our team. Obviously the Jeremy Chin, some of these other guys, but we got to pay Jeremy Chin next year. The cool thing about building a winning organization is you don't just only have your quarterback on a rookie deal. What if you also have an awesome $92 million defensive back? To me, this is the market for Saint Risto. If Saint Risto was a free agent based on the way he's been playing, and he was a veteran, 5 years, $92 million. That's like what? That's not even. That's like 17, 18 million bucks a year. This is safe. You have to be good when these guys are getting paid rookie level contracts, and if we have him for 3 or 4 years at his rookie level deal,
we do.
Then that's a huge, huge, huge benefit.
Of course. Because
this is, to me, I don't think the San Francisco 49ers F around. I mean, this, to me, I see this and I'm like, that's what these guys are worth. You know what else
doesn't F around? Pimp ass.
Adam Peters.
And he's only had 1 draft class. So let's see what happens next one.
It's so cool.
One. I mean, that's 3 draft classes equals let's go.
That's basically an $80 million of value. Yes. That's the way I calculate it. When I see Diamador Lenore get a 5-year, $92 million extension, my first thought is, that's the money we're saving on a guy like Mike Saint Risto. That's the beauty of it.
So if you're talking value wasted, how about if you go back to our old GMs and all the guys we used to get versus what we're doing? So, of course, this is modern day shit, but what we do know about Adam Peters and company is we are drafting bad sons of bitches.
We are.
And San Fran is going to be all right and live because for the last decade, they've had the right coaches, the right personnel, the right culture. This is what we're doing for a decade. Sorry, go ahead.
He wasn't in Harry Potter, but I do love the comment from Greg Martin. Diamador Lenore. I might not have been saying his name right, but
say it again.
Diamador Lenore. Yeah, a lot of ors. You're right. It's a lot of Dumbledores in there. Yeah,
and I've never, but
I love it. So short week. NFC East opponent. We're 7-3. Oh, by the way, the other thing that we haven't said the words of that everyone knows, our loss and the Eagles win puts the Eagles in first place in the NFC East by a half game.
I'm all right,
which is fine. I'd rather go in. We're going in as the underdog, no matter what. We're the underdog.
Well, if we whip that ass, then we ain't got to worry about it.
That's true. That is true.
No, but I get it. It's been fun. It's been a fun ride. But they've been tough as shit too.
So
they really
that's really unfair, the sneakiness of how good they are, because ultimately, and by the way, this is yet another reason to hate the New York Giants for letting Saquon Barkley go.
What dicks?
They are the biggest dicks on the flock. Like they were like
specifically.
We think Daniel Jones is the better investment.
I think they were trying to give Mara like a heart attack.
Oh God damn it!
He said it. He was like, "You're telling me we will be better off."
He did not want to do it.
This is the worst idea ever.
I was like, "No, sir, you won't. Trade him to Seattle."
He looked back and said, "You better make this better work."
I will have a hard time sleeping if Saquon winds up in Philly.
This is the worst. I mean, by the way, it's
ninja jump backwards over some motherfuckers like Bruce Lee.
Lamar
shit?
Lamar and Derrick Henry, and then Jalen and Saquon Barkley. I mean, that's 1A and 1B. If you put those 2 players together in one offense, it's unfair. It's unfair. We need to break these.
They
teams
got their
up.
problems too, though.
Yeah, but it ain't at number 26. No, and if you get the ball to him,
it's not about jumping over people backwards.
Aside from, I mean, he's
what the shit, man.
That's outrageous.
What are we talking about? Anywhere at any level, we've all seen it. We've all done it. I'm talking about backyard football. I'm talking about like our friends. I'm talking about. I don't give a shit. My son showed it to me at dinner. He's like, "Sorry to interrupt dinner." Like, we don't have a real strickful dinner, but he was like,
"Sounds very strickful."
No, but the four of us love talking. He was like, "Let's get real strickful, Dad." You ever jumped over something like that? I was like, "What the shit?" What?
Yeah, no, it never.
It was that Sunday. I was like, "How did I miss it?" You were napping, Dad. I noticed.
They don't. That Madden doesn't have a button for that. There's no concept of someone turning backwards
Bruce
and jumping over somebody.
Hollywood, like who does that? Who plans these stunts? Him.
Who's the best? Is Bruce Lee's the best stunt guy, right? What's the best stunt actor?
Lee. Whatchamacallit?
Lee?
You talking about
Lee Iacocca?
$1 Million Man?
Yes, I am.
$6 million.
What's the
Steve Austin?
Steve Austin.
Oh, Lee Majors.
Lee Majors.
Was he the fall guy? After
the
being
song.
Yeah.
About being.
Yes.
So obviously
you
Ryan
guys
Gosling
brought
falls
this
in.
to my world.
It's true.
And I'm giving
true.
it back. I'm regurgitating it.
Well, we have to deal with Saquon on Thursday, and it is. By the way,
that's tough sledding.
It's a thought-ending thing. Every time I'm like, yeah, but every time I think about this game, all I think about all the different ways in which it could go. All I can think about is, yeah, but they can just somehow find a way to get the ball to Saquon Barkley in any situation, and it's not.
You're about to catch a 56-yard screen for a touchdown.
So we'll see how that goes for us.
I know.
We haven't. I mean, he hasn't necessarily beaten us single-handedly, but he's beaten us double-handedly before.
And they have to deal with Jaden Daniels.
Whereas
they've been dealing with another quarterback that was not Jaden Daniels for a long time. So they're going to have a major adjustment period. But damn it, Saquon.
He beat us.
We all agree.
Double-handedly
He's
multiple times.
He's a bad son of a bitch. And maybe the best tailback since we've done this.
Stupid Giants. I mean, just keep him on your team, man. And let
him
him
know, the closest to a throwback. There's no doubt.
I agree with that. Until he went new school and reverse butt cheek.
No, he's the modern day old school guy.
Like, can you imagine if the helmet hit the nutsack?
Because it could have gone wrong in so many ways.
That's the only thing that was left open.
It could have gone wrong in so many ways.
I know. But he didn't care. No. And he spun around. It was Bruce Lee. It was old school Bruce Lee.
I think he would have, no matter how, if it was Clowney, he would have somehow got up. I mean, he was going to jump just enough to get over whoever it was.
He's a ninja. And what he just did, so the angle from the Philadelphia, they have so many great athletes that stood up.
You're talking about watching the players on the sideline?
Like Eddie Murphy had just delivered the final punchline in his stand-up in front of the entire link. And it was so cool.
Can you imagine? They were like Jalen Carter, who's one of the biggest human beings in the NFL, was standing on the sidelines.
Cooper DeJean,
whatever. Yeah, and they were all like, and so the camera was right over behind him, and you're like, and you're just been like, and you could just see like, you can't see Saquon Barkley over Jalen Carter or any of these guys, except when he does whoop whoop, and you're like, what just happened? A guy just jumped over everybody.
What
from field level? That's not last week. That's crazy.
We did talk about this last week.
What about what? About Saquon?
Same play, yeah.
Oh, we should talk about it every week.
So, did we teach you about the Washington Monument tackle? When he jumps up, you go Washington Monument. You spike him right in the nuts. He never does it again against us in Washington. Maybe elsewhere.
It's true.
If you're an NFC East guy, you get the Washington Monument. Hopefully, the spike gets you, or maybe the Mormon Temple, because there's 6 spires.
Surrender, Dorothy.
And way more chances for you to get exactly.
Surrender,
but I'm just saying,
Dorothy.
People that jump up there are risking their life and limb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if you're going to go backwards, that's just complete disrespect to the whole entire. Or this. You might be the baddest son of a bitch in the world. Go ahead, Ken. Go ahead.
He's the baddest son of a bitch in the world. I was going to say.
He might be.
We all.
He might be.
We all.
Unfortunately, 2 franchises make us deal with it.
This week. The 3 of us.
My L's might have caught up to me. And T2. You might be going down there.
I was 8-2. So we're 7-3. So I was wrong. I was just dead wrong.
No, you weren't.
But we all have losses against the Eagles in our preseason prediction. That doesn't mean we're going to predict a loss right now. All I'm saying is in the beginning of the season, that's what we said. The cool thing about this schedule, the way that it lines up now, again, you don't want to be you don't want to get ahead of your skis, but you go Cowboys, Titans, Saints in the next 3 games. And with 7 wins, you think to yourself, in a cold-blooded, cold-hearted, disconnected fashion, you think to yourself, 10 wins get you to the top of the postseason heap. You want more than 10 wins, but I'm saying but 10 wins get you there.
Because 9 doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. 9 doesn't. Cowboys, Titans, and Saints as the next 3, because you go Cowboys, Titans, Saints, because then you go Eagles, Falcons. So you really look at these next 4 games and you think to yourself, you gotta be at least 3-1. I think I agree. I think you gotta be 3-1 in these next 4 games, which is an absurd thing to say for where we've been. But if you think of us as a playoff contender, that's a 3-1. We're better than 3 of those teams, and we're competitive with the 4th. I don't know if you randomly lose one of these games stupidly. Cooper Rush, Mason Rudolph, and who's starting for the freaking Saints right now? It's not Taysom Hill, and it's not Derek. Was it Derek Carr? Is he?
Yeah, Carr's back.
Is he back? All right. Well, that's good for them. But
and us, and also us.
Yeah, that's good for everybody.
Good for offensive stats and our
defensive
stats.
And our defense.
Yes,
he is not a mobile. He's not going to beat you on the ground.
No, I'm just saying he's not the guy that's going to get us. He might get us for 1, but we're going to get him for 2.
How long before NFL teams realize your quarterback has to be able to get you 50 yards on the ground? Maybe he doesn't get it every week, but he's got to be able to.
There may be 5 people eligible to do that on the planet at one time ever. Now, I know there's young bucks coming up in the college game that can, but they cannot figure it out. And I don't know why, but we talk about this every week. We're like, who's going to do it?
Well, so like a good example of that, Kev,
it's kind of nobody.
Justin Herbert can.
I know
he doesn't,
that.
But he can.
And he should. And we've always thought he should.
Josh Allen can and does. Lamar can and does. Jaden can and does. Hurts can and does.
100%.
Mahomes
can and does.
Mm-hmm.
And again, when I'm not saying you have to get 50 yards a week. I'm just saying you can.
No, but if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, your whole shit's built around the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs right now. So when they see us, that's a difficult matchup for us.
That's why I was so shocked that
Justin Fields that's their wheelhouse.
Thrown out.
No. Russ Wilson, I'm sorry, I did
so good.
I said danger Russ
so
last
good.
week.
Danger Russ.
He did 2 things that changed the game.
That Justin Fields couldn't have done.
He put 2 balls in places where guys had to make great catches, but he put it where they had to be.
Yeah, then he did that little stupid dance, and I hated him.
I hated him. I'm the one that's apologizing for saying danger.
He did
Russ
it right in front of me.
And his hungry hippo ass date to the draft from collegiate. Anyways,
that's right.
He put 2 balls in places where guys went and got him. So that's what our guy can do, except for
he could have got those 2 balls.
Wait, I think both of you guys. I trust both of you guys enough to know that he would have got one of those balls, and you would have definitely shaved and caressed the other.
I would have Eberflused initially.
If you are as lost as I am, then don't worry.
Kevin, what's the final score of this game?
Good guys, 33. Bad guys, 21. It's not going to be in contention at the end. I don't know why. Makes no sense. But neither does this outfit on Tuesday night.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think we're running into a buzzsaw.
Mm-hmm.
We have no depth. We got a lot of guys out. As hopeful as we can be, I'm going to do the reverse psychology.
Okay.
And say we're going to lose 31-17. Only because it's when we feel like that, this team historically has done something that we never thought was possible. Maybe they'll come back and win. But that's my official prediction.
The negative boner theory. So, I call that the negative boner.
I think it gets out of hand.
I'm going to go.
We lose control.
I'm going to go positive boner on you guys. I'm telling you right now.
Boing.
Short week. We've been the Beast of the East all season. We gave that title up briefly. And we get in the first opportunity, in the first NFL slot of the week, we take it right on back. I got us winning. And by the way, I have us being in the same kind of game as we were with the Pittsburgh Steelers. 20s to 20s types of scenario. And I believe that the difference in this game is Jaden Daniels. I think that, and it has to be. It absolutely has to be. With all the other things that aren't going our way, personnel-wise.
I hope he's healthy.
I hope he's healthy, too.
I know he's not right now.
He's not.
Very second.
But you know what? That's the cool thing about Jaden Daniels. That's why you draft a guy like him. He's a football player. Football players play.
Agreed.
They're not 100%, but they can still play. And they still play at a high level. Jaden Daniels wins this game for us. And I'm going to go with a flip. I'm going to go 28-27, back-to-back 28-27 weeks. This time we're on the upper end of it. And I think it's Jaden Daniels who makes the play that saves the day.
We're on the top.
What's that? Yeah. I mean, I think this is
not bottom.
I think this is we're a power top this week as opposed to a power bottom. And
Stop.
I will say that the Steelers have exceeded my expectations. I looked at their win loss total before the season started. I had no idea that they were going to be where they are right now. They're the 3 teams that we've lost to are very, very good teams.
Yeah, they are.
And the Philadelphia Eagles are right there. I think the way that we played the Ravens and the way that we played the Steelers are meaningful in terms of our game plan for a game against a team like the Eagles. What will be a big deal, obviously, if we can get Lattimore out there, the manner in which we cover A.J. Brown becomes insanely relevant. I don't know. I love this. I just want to know how that's going to go because that has not gone our way the last few meetups. Devontae Smith, he can make that Pickens catch in the back of the end zone. He can make that Mike Williams catch in the other end zone.
They're like 20th in passing. It's because they're so good running the ball.
They're
playing
so
defense.
good running the ball.
Their shit's tight. All their shit's top 10. We don't even need to get there. They are. This has been the team I've been worried about all year. I don't care about that loss.
Our offense can't score on them.
To get that loss last week means that we got to get this W on Thursday because why wouldn't we?
Yep.
We haven't expected anything better than that, and we can't predict it because who could? But if we go 0-2 in the Keystone State, it's gonna be depressing. And I think we're good enough to certainly win 1. I thought we were good enough to win 2. We'll see.
We said Pennsylvania's the key to this whole thing.
I know, but
we can't lose Pennsylvania.
No, but we can still beat those guys at home.
Yep, that's true.
This is a short week after our tough loss on the road, so that's a lot to ask. We'll be all right.
We bring the Cowboys back here after the mini bye.
We got to get that twice
on the day of the WCAC championship. We'll be back here next Tuesday night to talk about not just the Eagles game, but it will be Dallas week when we meet next week in 7 days on November 19th. We'll be in Dallas week. They'll be coming here. No matter which way this game goes this week, there's nothing like beating Dallas. There's nothing like getting that NFC East win. 2 weeks in a row, we have a chance to get division wins. We got to get them. Tim Strachan?
R.I.P. Kathy Morris and Maurice, Pat, Shannon. Love you guys. It was great seeing so many people today. And as for you guys, always great to be with you on a Tuesday night. It's a win for me, and I can't wait to do another one next week.
Kevin Ricca?
Let's just go and grab
Agent
this
K?
for all the people that T just talked about and the 2 guys I'm sitting here next to. Let's just go get this bad boy in Philly because really, a lot of people just historically
we need good news around here.
No, they historically think like Philly's good, and they are. And if it wasn't for Jalen Hurts, I'd be. Anyways, F Jalen Hurts. Let's go get this dub and make Thursday night in town an old school establishment to have at least a couple videos to put on here for next week's joy.
I am looking forward to that.
I will send you all the clips I got.
All the clips we have.
Appreciate the hell out of you guys, and I know this is it, man. This is the first time. This is divisional conference, and this is what's up.
Ooh, Robert Cohen throwing out, and I get maybe we figure out a way to get I Hate Dallas in the mix somehow, some way. He's like, hey, somebody round up Chris Hess next week. We'll see where he is. He might have retired his Crocs and Jorts and Crocs, but we'll see. We'll see if he has or hasn't.
I was just calling for I always call for a timeout on Jorts and Crocs.
Always call it. It's fair enough. It's like you want to.
So I'm like, wait, am I really
save the
this?
possession?
No, you're not. It's Ken. Never mind. Okay, I'm good. Let's proceed. Because I didn't see T in any Jorts and Crocs. So
you don't want to.
Well,
I do.
No,
I do. No. I do. No. I just don't want to.
EO with
Appreciate
the
y'all.
exit at outro. We are still live.
Let's go beat these bitches.
Hashtag enough with the muff. That is a.
Yeah, we got double muff last week. Let's shave it. Shave it in Philly on Thursday.
Enough
Clean
with
it
the
up.
muff. Clean
Sorry,
it up.
Jalen.
Clean it up.
We will be back in 7 days. I'm Ken Meringolo. This was, thank God it's Tuesday. We
About to Sirianni
are
myself.
still live.
Sirianni.
And then you Eberfluss afterwards.
No.
Move that
No.
back.
No. All right. You Eberflus first. And never Sirianni. He always talks to
Trying to
everyone
make
else.
the man's name like an action word.
You're right. But Eberflus is actually a verb.
It is a verb.
I know. Sirianni is like acting
You
like a
don't want to
little
get
bitch.
Eberflused.
Yeah. No. I want to Eberflus myself when no one's
Yes.
looking.
No.
But I'd like to Sirianni whenever
The
it's
old
around.
self-Eberflus. It is.
It's chapping my ass right now.
Takes a lot of effort.
And my taint is burnt.
Well, that's
It's
one way to end. We're still live.
We are?
Well, we are
Well,
still
stop
live.
Eberflusing so my taint feels better.